guys, welcome back to A Little Less Lisa. If you're new here, my name is Lisa and this is my channel all about my health, wellness, fitness, and weight loss maintenance journey. So if you like this kind of content, I would love to see you back here. Click the subscribe button and the notification bell below so you know every time I upload a video. So today's video, we are going to talk about resolutions. It is that time of year, right, where probably most of us who are watching this video every year have had lose weight at the top of the resolution list. I mean, obviously I can't speak for all of you, but I can certainly speak for me. And I can pretty much tell you that I think that losing weight has been the #1 resolution that I have had probably since I was in high school, if I had to guess. There were probably a couple years in there where I had lost a significant amount of weight and was doing a pretty good job of, maintaining it or whatever. But there were definitely times where I would gain 10, 15 pounds, something like that, and then, need to take those off. So, like I said, pretty consistently had losing weight at the top of my resolution list. But I am thrilled to say that losing weight is not on my resolution list for 2025. And that's a pretty amazing feeling, I have to say. It really, really is. I think it's been a consistent resolution for, like I said, as long as I can remember. And also, as I said, I have a feeling that probably a lot of you watching this had or have had that as a resolution for probably as long as you can remember too. So, I realize that some of you are still on your journey, right? And by that, I mean your weight loss journey. And so you're maybe not in maintenance yet, but I would like to give you some suggestions on how to look at resolutions maybe a little bit differently. And then I'm going to go over my 3, I guess I would say, kind of main resolutions for 2025. So the first thing that I would recommend when thinking about resolutions or, goals, whatever you want to call them for the next year, is try to think about focusing on maybe areas of your life. So for example, your health or your career or your relationships. And then from there, develop some smaller, more specific kind of goals. So, if any of you are familiar with SMART goals, so SMART, it's specific, measurable, actionable, time-bound, what's R? I'm trying to remember what the R is. And then time-bound is the T. Instead of saying, I want to lose weight, or I want to get healthier, you would say, I want to improve my BMI by 3% in the next 6 months, something like that. So really kind of, like I said, kind of developing more general areas and then thinking about those as it relates to more specific goals. The next thing I think is helpful is to frame your goals as it relates to habits and things that you can integrate into your daily life rather than just like some drastic overhaul of your life. And I think, if any of you have read the book Atomic Habits, it's putting little things in place that lead to overall larger changes, right? So the idea of, every day I am going to do 10 minutes of meditation, something like that. So instead of saying, I want to improve my mental health, which, spoiler alert, is kind of one of my resolutions, taking that overall kind of goal or framework and then putting habits in place that support that goal. The next thing to think about when you're thinking about your resolutions is they don't always have to be with an absolute end goal in mind, right? Because I think, especially for those of us who focus on losing weight, it's, I want to be X size by summer, right? So I can fit into that bathing suit, or I want to lose X number of pounds by my birthday, whatever it is. Thinking about it more as just continuous improvement instead of reaching like a specific end point. So thinking of things more in the long term as opposed to just, very specific short-term kind of things that, it's probably better for you in the long run to just be thinking about maybe your health overall as opposed to just singly focusing on losing weight. I think it's also really important that when you are looking at establishing resolutions for the next year, that they align with your values, right? With your core values and what is important to you and what's meaningful to you. If you're doing something for somebody else, that's not going to work, right? You want to have something that is sustainable and something that will last long term. And if it's not something that aligns with your core values and how you want to see your life improve, it's not going to stick. And finally, and I think that this is probably the most important, and if I remember correctly, I think that this is something that the author talks about, I'm blanking on his name right now, of Atomic Habits, and that is to kind of take the first few months of the year as almost like a trial period, right? And there's nothing to say that you can't adjust what your resolutions are or what it is that you want to work on as you progress through the year, right? So, take the first few months, work on some of these things that you think are important to better your life, to improve the quality of your life. And, maybe at the end of March, take the first quarter, go back, look at what you wrote down. I think it's really important personally to write down goals or things like this. I just think that it makes it more concrete. I mean, to be honest with you, it's one of the reasons why I started this channel, right? I felt like it would be a great way for me to be held accountable. If I had to come on camera and on the internet once a week and tell you how my week went, it holds you accountable. I think writing down goals and things like that can act in the same way. And so I would highly recommend that you write things down. And then, like I said, go back in a few months and revisit them and see, is this still aligned with your core values? Are you making progress towards a better life in whatever area it is that you have chosen to do? So I think that's really important. I actually used to have a really good planner, and I'm blanking. Oh, I think it's called Moxie Life. And you basically do that every quarter. It's like a pie chart thing, and you rank kind of where you are, and it asks you a whole bunch of different questions. It's a great system, I think. But you look at those every quarter and you kind of, like I said, readjust maybe what it is that you want to focus on and what is most important. Because maybe 3 months from now, you realize that what you put on January 1st isn't really that important, or something has come up in your life that now really takes precedent over that. So highly recommend reevaluating your goals as you go through the year. So those are just a few things that I think are kind of helpful to think about as you are thinking about what your New Year's resolutions might be. If you're doing that, you don't have to do resolutions. Nobody said, there's nothing written in stone that you have to do that. You're not a bad person if you don't do them. But if it's something that you would like to do, hopefully those things that I talked about are helpful in framing your resolutions and how you want to proceed through the year. So let's talk about my 3 kind of main things that I want to focus on. Now, I have not gone through and done sort of a more detailed, this is how I plan to achieve, right? Or, what habits do I need to put in place to achieve some of these resolutions? But except for one, maybe, I would say that the other 2 are definitely a long-term and a kind of whole life resolution. So the first is to continue to work on my body composition. And now that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm looking to, lose any more fat or lose any more weight, but I do really want to focus on my body composition, or continue to focus on my body composition, to make sure that at a minimum, I am maintaining my lean muscle mass that I have right now, right? As a postmenopausal woman, I am 57 years old. It's really important that I continue to focus on strength training, that I continue to focus on preserving that lean muscle mass. Now, in turn, that will help me maintain my weight too, right? So there's benefits to me kind of focusing on this as a resolution, but that's really where I want to focus my efforts as far as it relates to sort of my physical health. The second thing that I want to focus on, or the second resolution, and this is the one that maybe is a little more short term, is to explore HRT, or hormone replacement therapy. So I do have an appointment actually next week with my new OBGYN. Obviously, I shouldn't say obviously. I have not found a new doctor since moving to New York, so it will basically be 2 years, which is not good. And I am having a mammogram, so that will also be good because I haven't had one in quite a while. I'm not going to tell you how many years, because honestly, I don't even know how many years, and please do not do as I do. Every female, over the age of 40 should be getting an annual mammogram, and obviously defer to your doctor and your healthcare provider's instructions on that, and what your familial history is, and all those things. But yes, so I'm going to have that done as well. But I really want to explore HRT. I have done, some reading and some research basically on, how many years you can be postmenopausal before doing HRT really has no benefit. And there are lots and lots of benefits for doing HRT. And so I want to try to maximize that. I've been postmenopausal, I guess, technically for 3 years, I think. I'd have to go back and look at like my period app that I used to have to see like when my last period was, and then, calculate out a year from that. And then that's technically when you're postmenopausal. So yeah, I don't want to wait and get to a point where my doctor is going to say, now HRT isn't beneficial for you. So that's something, like I said, that I think is really, really important. Again, it goes to bone density, it goes to your brain, and potentially improving your chances for not having Alzheimer's. And it's just, there are a lot of things. I will link below a really fantastic YouTube video that I've watched actually a couple of times about HRT and Alzheimer's and all of the benefits basically that come with HRT. She's a fantastic researcher, and like I said, it goes very in depth. I want to say the interview is over an hour. It might be like an hour and a half, so you might kind of need to take it in chunks if you don't have a full hour or whatever to sit down and listen to it, but I would highly recommend it. I thought it was very interesting, extremely informative. And then the last resolution I have is to focus on my mental health. I have kind of been putting my mental health on the back burner, And to be honest with you, I have a program through my work that I can meet with a therapist 12 times at no cost. It is completely free. And I have yet to take advantage of that benefit, and I really kind of kick myself for not doing that, because there are definitely some things that I want to work on as it relates to my mental health, things that, I don't necessarily talk about on this channel because it doesn't really relate to this channel, but, things, like I said, that I want to work on and hopefully get some guidance on, and maybe some different coping mechanisms and things that would help me when I'm struggling with some of these things. So yeah, I think that's really important. And again, that to me is more of a lifelong type resolution. Obviously, I can do some specific things, like one, take advantage of these free, mental health therapy sessions that I have access to through my employer. So, things like that I just think are really, really important. And so that is going to be my third focus for 2025. So there you are. Those are my 3 kind of main areas of things I want to focus on in 2025. Let me know in the comments below. Have you started thinking about your New Year's resolutions? Are you even going to do resolutions? Like I said, there's no rule that says you have to, but if you are doing them, let me know in the comments below. What are you thinking about choosing or, aligning to for 2025 with resolutions in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. It does help the YouTube algorithm. And like I said in the beginning, if you like this kind of content, I would love to see you back here. Every week I do a video on how my week went. So that's usually kind of my weekend video. And then this kind of mid-week video is more just on a general health, wellness, kind of topic. Obviously, it could be on losing weight, maintaining weight, that kind of thing. So yeah, please come join us here. We have a fantastic group of people in the comments and are just, very helpful and a lot of great support. So click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when I upload videos. If you want to keep watching, there'll be another video over in the corner here for you to click on and watch. And remember, kindness and hate spread the same. The choice is yours. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.